Hello everyone, and welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns! So today we have the A Link to the Past Randomizer Survivors of Hyrule Tournament Grand Finals Game 1 between zelgadissan and telethar. So on commentary we will have Clear Mouse and Wallkicks, and on tracking we will have Akir and Seiryu. So thanks everyone and have a great race!
Hello, Clear Mouse.
Well, hello, Wallkicks. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, and for chat, I hope they are doing fantastic as well. It is a wonderful Saturday evening or Sunday morning, depending on where you are. And as mentioned, we are in the finals already of the Survivors of Hyrule tournament. Like they said, this is Game 1, zelgadissan and telethar, two amazing Crosskeys runners, which is good because the mode just happens to be Crosskeys.
What a coincidence. Oh, man.
It's almost as if once they saw that it was Crosskeys, they're like, I'm good at Crosskeys, I should play this mode.
Amazing. You know, do you think the team captains had anything to do with this decision as well?
You know, I would think so.
Okay.
You know, just kind of as, you know, you hopefully at least discuss a little bit with both these teams making the finals. It does seem as if we just have a problem with one of our runners. I cannot believe they would do this to us.
True,
It seems
true.
like telethar just got a problem with his computer. I'm gonna probably pop over to the race time room to see what's going on over there. But yeah, Crosskeys. Clear Mouse.
Yeah, and it's I really do feel like also, you know, it's I understand it is tournament season. I mean, you know, and granted, when is it not tournament season? I understand, but it really kind of does feel like it's been a while. You know, outside of maybe this tournament, you know, that we had the occasional entrance, that we actually had like a real restreamed entrance tournament-ish mode, right? And, you know, from of course previous rounds of Survivors of Hyrule, we've had, you know, Crosskeys, had veterans. Other than that, I think you know, like some of the other tournaments, you know, we've got the casual boost ladder going on, we've got the main tournament, but all kind of like entrance free, you know. So pretty happy actually in order to see some Crosskeys, you know, here back on action, you know, for on ZSR. And of course, as you mentioned, we've got two extremely talented Crosskeys runners ready to go. Zelga, I think his reputation probably precedes him at this point. Among many things about his reputation, also does precede him. But you know, one of them is how amazing he is, you know, at Crosskeys. Now, telethar, I would say, okay, like relatively speaking, you know, he probably is more of a quote unquote newcomer. But holy frick, like, you know, he has like he's like just like smashed the entrance like out of the park, right? Kind of came on the scene. He's already a league champion, and I think he has made it quite far into like several other tournaments, just basically in the past year or two, right? So, very, very talented runner. This should be an excellent race.
Yeah, I would definitely say telethar. You know, at this point, you probably really wouldn't consider him new, but Zelga's been around for a number of years. But you know, for both runners, like you said, very high-level Crosskeys runners. Zelgadissan, I believe 2 years ago, made the Crosskeys semifinals tournament, or at least the semifinals of the Crosskeys tournament. Last year, I believe telethar was a quarterfinalist. So you know, and you know how difficult it is to even make brackets.
Oh yeah,
it is such a high level, such a high bar to get into. So that we're definitely in for a fun one. And yeah, telethar has really been impressive lately. So this is going to be a good one. Let's talk about the tournament format a little bit. So this is a best of 7. There are 2 teams of 4 runners each. zelgadissan representing my team, so it's Zelga, myself, Dante, and our team captain, Magnet Hands. telethar representing his team includes himself, Humbug, Structural Mike, and Airy. I think Humbug is the team captain for them.
Humbug, yes, it is. So their team are the Boomer Rangers. Team captain Humbug is in fact the Green Boomer Ranger. You may not see that many Green Boomer Rangers like in the game itself, but trust me, they exist somehow. It's probably because of Yoshi, honestly. But
probably.
But yeah, two very, very impressive, hard-hitting teams. I mean, I honestly, like, when I saw this matchup, you know, for Survivors of Hyrule, I'm like, understandably, both teams are in the finals, and man, I cannot wait for every single game.
Definitely. And for Zelga, this is actually the first time he's playing something in this tournament that isn't Retrance. So
amazing. What happened? You guys had a winning formula. Wallkicks, what happened?
we had this discussion when it was first rolled, and so because you know, on my team, myself and Zelga are mainly the two entrance runners. And so when this entrance was rolled for game one, we kind of discussed it a little bit, and I was like, I'll let Zelga run this one and not worry about it.
I think that's fair, and plus, like, I'm trying to remember actually which of the modes were initially, I think, banned. I think it was like swordless and casual boots. So retros it does have the chance to show up. But as I've seen, kind of like the modes being kind of rolled, I saw what was it Crosskeys, and then it was open, and then it was 80 keys. So I mean, like, retros has the chance of coming in, but certainly when you see a pretty good entrance mode, I certainly very much understand if you would like Zelda, in this case, to represent your team and face off against the Boomerangers.
Yeah, and so we're seeing two different tiers of tree pulls. Zelga's tree pull was only rupees, just single rupees, but Telethar got bombs, which will benefit Telethar just a little bit more than just those single rupees.
Yes, Mike in chat, I believe he is also another Boomeranger. Yes, has actually, yes, I actually didn't have the sheet updated or whatever, refreshed, but yes, looks like actually the fourth mode, at least in the set, is going to be Randomizer, and that will also be between himself and Dante. So quite the four set of matches to look forward to.
So what you're saying is I'm racing Humbug.
You are racing Humbug, correct? In F80 keys, actually, I believe another mode that you are quite strong in. That being said, Humbug also is a very, very formidable opponent. So
of course.
I very much look forward to all of these matches.
But as for this race, by the way, so Crosskeys, can start a little bit slow. Both runners, our Sanctuary start was behind Lumberjack, which poses a little bit of interest already. Although that first Castle Tower key, might be a little interesting.
Yeah, we have not actually found, I think Castle Tower yet, but we certainly have. We know what's behind. We're right, because we started in basically at Lumberjack entrance. Yes.
Is this the second one?
Mm-hmm.
No,
that was quite.
That'd be
it's
really
the other tower.
Like if genuinely the first two keys in a cross key you get are a Castle Tower small key, you should run away.
It's like, oh no, what happened to the scene? Yeah. Speaking of, though, we've got some probably some of the best entrance trackers that we have within this community, Iker and Sarah UX, doing all the button clicking for us. I mean, they've been around SG, ZSR, like they're very well familiar with basically keep track of all the keys, all the items, all the entrances. As you see in this case, that we've got all the keys, we've got our shield, we've got that we found the dam, I think, right? Is that right? We found a hammer, by the way, in the well.
We have not found the dam. We've seen.
Right.
We saw Mire Shed.
A Mire Shed. That was it. Okay, gotcha.
And a hammer, though, very nice start for our runners.
Yeah, it's probably so. Okay, it certainly does, do temper sword damage, which is really great. It is a permanent weapon, also really great. The reliability of this weapon, less great. So you really would like a better, a less, what was a store bought, store brand, tempered sword. Get the real one. Don't in this case scrimp on it. But until we get there, all right, this is gonna be as good as it's gonna get.
Well, and it's not just the fact that it does temper sword damage. I mean, for convenience purposes of dungeons and getting access to other to other areas, like already this gives us another drop down in the Magic Bat drop down, which you can definitely forget about immediately if you're just like at the very beginning of a seed, if you're just like, I'm just gonna cruise control this for a little bit, and you're like, oh wait a minute, I have these things that I can do that I've already forgotten about, which I do fairly regularly.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. Yeah, and especially even in like non-insurance, right? Whenever people come into Kakariko, Magic Bat is actually a location that you kind of have to like conscious think about, right? I mean, certainly both entrance and or not, it's certainly locked by that hammer, but maybe in Crosskeys, just because you don't get these types of things typically pretty early, as you mentioned, it's very easy in this case to kind of just let it slip through. We already found our first dungeon, by the way. Speaking of Mire Shed, we have found Mire. Can't get in.
A whole lot. Yeah, it's like not a whole lot we can do right there.
Yeah.
But for those of you who aren't used to A Link to the Past Randomizer, or Crosskeys for that matter. So Crosskeys references crossword key sanity, which is an entrance mode, meaning the entrances, as you have been watching, are not what they usually are in the game. We definitely don't have dungeons in Kakariko Village in the regular game. So the crossword aspect of that means if you are going into an entrance that has multiple exits, those exits can be shuffled between the light and dark world. And then the key sanity aspect of it is just on top of the regular items being shuffled, all of the dungeon small keys, big keys, maps, and compasses are shuffled with the item pool as well.
Yeah, and of course, all the randomization, it's actually really kind of cool to see like the progression or how kind of Crosskeys came about, because initially we have first the randomizer, we just started randomizing just like the normal, major progression items, right? Oh man, there's not a bow in Eastern Palace, or the bow's gonna be somewhere else. I'm not picking on Eastern Palace for any specific reason.
Definitely
and
not picking on Eastern Palace for any reason.
Of course not. No. Eventually, as you mentioned, it's like, oh well, we can shuffle more than just like the regular items, right? We can shuffle, speaking of the dungeon, we found back of desert as well. Still can't do anything. But yeah, we can shuffle in the dungeon items as well. Maps, compasses, small keys, big keys. And eventually it's like, why can't we shuffle out entrances as well? And one of the actual features, not bugs, features of Crosskeys is that your Dark World access can come very unconventionally. Typically, you would want hammer, pearl, glove, pearl, something like that in order to get to Dark World, right? Here you can take, a spiral cave connector, to Fairy Ascension Cave in order to get to the top of Floating Island, and that is your Dark World access, right? It's super cool to be able to be able to keep track of that and kind of see and be able to basically navigate some really unconventional paths.
Yeah, and it definitely requires a lot more note-taking or just general knowledge of the game in general. You saw a little bit of difference in choosing to kind of look at this entrance. Telethar dropping down to the Lost Woods Thief drop down. We'll get the small key. Zelda looked at it and noticed it was a small key, so he's losing just the slightest amount of time because he knows he's going to have to go to that drop down anyways.
Right, yeah. And yeah, so right. And of course, the unfortunate scouting, for Zelda, again, this is just the nature of things. It is not retrants. It is, specific small keys. We can't actually tell what kind of key it is. All we know is that it's not universal. We saw on Telethar's side that it's a small key to pod. You can never have too many keys to pod. Or too many small keys in general. So
I mean, I suspect if you have like 8 pod small keys, there's something.
Okay,
wrong.
All right, that also might be a problem. Yes, I do agree with that. Although that might not be Zelda or Telethar's issue. That might be. We might need to report that to somebody else.
If you have 8 small keys to pod, please report to your nearest A Link to the Past randomizer developer.
Yeah. So by the way, for any of the people who are subscribed to Zelgadissan, if there is an emote that you would preferably like to use for this very specific situation, feel free to. Oh my god, there's a bow in this game.
Do you think that's going to disincentivize Zelda even further to not go into Eastern Palace?
So technically, wall kicks, there is like the disincentivization or like the willingness of Zelda to go into Eastern Palace is already a rock bottom. I think if you disincentivize it more, it's gonna like overflow into like positive. So no. I will say for the record, Zelda, when he raised Matt last night in the main tournament, they got standard boots. Technically standard boots, but it was casual boots, and there was progression in Pendant Eastern Palace, which both, of course, Matt and Zelda kind of left, but I believe Zelda, true to his tendencies, unfortunately delayed it just a little bit longer. So maybe, no PRNG, Zelda is not going to get totally burned over today by Eastern.
Maybe. I mean, the whole Eastern Palace debate is one that
debate. That's right. It is an actual debate.
It is a hard debate in the Crosskeys community. I would say definitely not fueled by both myself and Zelda.
No, of course not. Is it
Eastern Palace?
Is it a mere coincidence, by the way, that both you and Zelda, use the same sprite, and yet somehow you also have the same tendencies? I would say, about Eastern Palace. We've done a lot of maps, by the way.
I would definitely agree that him and I are very similar in style, and so I think it makes sense that we both use the same sprite.
All right, you know what? Well, we're gonna see just how fruitful, or productive Eastern Palace will be.
we're not going to see Eastern Palace for a while.
That is true. So it is actually quite notable. Okay, certainly, and we are still pretty early. In Crosskeys, only probably about 10 minutes in. We do actually have a good number of good items to our name. We do have a hammer. We have a nice boomerang. We of course are looking for a couple of Crosskeys-esque or maybe in general items that are considered to be playable. The mirror would be one. A mirror actually would be really good access, for example, to the bow on race game. Certainly one of the nicer ways of being able to get there. We can always find a connector, but we certainly would like the mirror. Sword would be great. Boots would also be really nice, but we're kind of looking for some of like some of the major items here that really kind of open up the seat a bit more.
I was wondering. Yeah, okay, so Telethar finds Ganon right there. I wasn't sure if we had seen Ganon, but he took the risk and discovered that Ganon is at our useless fairy drop down.
Yeah, I was actually wondering if he was actually ready to kind of end his route. Maybe he had nothing else, and I just kind of didn't really realize that. If he had nothing else, there's kind of like nothing to lose. But if he didn't, then maybe he might be kind of going back to that area. We found Hype Cave. Good thing we have bombs. Always good to know to have before kind of traversing. Oh my gosh, Telethar already winning. We have the other bow. My gosh,
and
the map of Eastern.
That was a really nice hype cave right there. That was a bow, the ether medallion, and of course the boots.
Oh yeah, we are pretty much almost set for playableness at this point. And of course, what the next thing Telethar would really like to have would be, of course, that really nice sword, right? Being able to dash around with boots can be a little bit frustrating at times if you have to constantly keep stopping your dash. Swordless Randomizer, potentially, runners who play that mode may experience something similar.
Yeah, but I'm sure a sword isn't too far away on Zelga's side. However, we find Paradox Cave. This look at this 7 nice items to check out.
Yeah, and of course, just kind of like likewise on Telethar's side, we did take a kind of advantage of some nice early resources, like tree pulls and graveyard ledge and something like that. We do actually have a good number of bombs. For what it's worth, Zelda does have the option of buying another set of bombs, from this nearby shop in Paradox. But you really kind of always want to make sure that you have a couple bombs to your name, right?
Right.
Just so in this case, you encounter Paradox, you encounter Hype Cave, you encounter Blind Set. You really don't want to be in a position of trying to leave an item, or an entrance basically, behind.
Yep, and we get a pretty nice small key there on Zelga's side, getting the small key to Swamp Palace, and he's using that Cane of Burnout actually to good effect.
Oh my gosh, so we have Hype Cave, Redux and Paradox. Not only, of course, there was a really nice, big magic drop from the mini Moldor, which, as you did rightfully observe, Zelda took quite a good advantage of it. We got the Fire Rod and we got a Pearl. So both, Telethar and Zelda finding some really, really good items here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this other cave, or where this other exit to Paradox leads, because if this leads to like a regular Dark World access point, Zelda might not be getting those boots for a little while.
Yeah. I would be kind of more heartbroken that he wasn't gonna get that bow, for a while. But you know what? It's okay. We don't have the Eastern Palace big key. I think everybody knows where it probably is, but we won't say anything until we actually see with our eyes, where it potentially is. Alright, that looks like the Telethar is actually going to come over here to the Desert Palace area. We do have a couple more checks. We are not going to go scout Desert Ledge temporarily, which is also fine.
Yeah, he got there pretty quickly. Was the back of Old Man Save and Quit the rock near Desert?
He came out of that location, yes, correct.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Technically, though, not in logic, right? Because we don't have a lamp?
No, but I mean, we could still just walk there regardless.
Yeah, right, correct, yeah. Yeah, it's just like typically you wouldn't necessarily come over here unless you maybe, had a bit more access, like a book, or a glove for that matter, but obviously we came out of that, entrance, so it's okay.
And Zelga's... It doesn't look like he wants to stay here for very long.
Yeah. Man, I was half expecting the Blue Badger to come out, but no, Zelda has the Pearl.
Yeah, that Moon Pearl has been discovered.
Yeah, no, and like the early pearl actually can actually be just as powerful as in this case like early boost. I mean, so like one of the things that Telethar can't do in the Dark World is dash, right? He's actually also pretty defenseless for what it's worth when he's in the Dark Worlds. Because we can't really do much, but Zelda on the other hand, while he's able to defend himself, and he's really kind of be able to do a lot more things, has a lot more access in Dark Worlds.
Yeah, and the boots are going to make it much nicer to move around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what a nice stem prize! Yeah,
is it 20 rupees? Can't complain there.
Mm-hmm.
Telethar just going to stick to those 2 entrances that we saw on Dark Shopping Mall that popped out where it did. He's probably going to go check Bonk Rocks right now. The Bonk Rocks by Link's house.
Yeah, this makes total sense. Just because just like with any other randomizer, the sequencing of items is pretty important. Telethar, with the Bonk Rocks in Link's house already found Spiral Cave. But yeah, you're gonna probably go chase the items that are gonna kind of try and open up the next set of progression, right? Nice Fire Rod usage here in Spiral Cave as well.
Yeah, because you got to be a little careful without a sword or anything. It's kind of hard to get past some of those mini moldworms.
Oh my gosh, and rewarded with the flippers. That's actually some really nice footwear here. Spitting out at Graveyard Ledge? Okay, so... Okay, my guess is we're probably not going to use this entrance, this connector very often, but we already got the most value out of it, which is, of course, our flippers.
Yeah. We see that the useless fairy dropdown is at Sanctuary, which I believe means our well is behind Agate 2.
Alright, so we have a bit more density or maybe incentive in order to climb. That being said, though, of course, as we did see on kind of Telethar's side, Ganon is at the useless fairy drop. So climbing GT is certainly not strictly required, but it maybe does increase the chances a little bit of maybe something that is required, some key or some item, either behind Agate 2 or at the top of GT.
Now, if I'm Zelda, I'm looking at my item loadout. I have a Fire Rod, I have a big key to desert, I have a small key to desert, and I know where the back of desert is.
And we know where the bow is, right?
And we know where the bow is. Are you suggesting that we need to be doing NMG landmill strats here?
I mean, I think it's more of it's more than a suggestion at this point.
Okay.
If we're not gonna go into Eastern Palace here, we gotta get something right out of Zelda.
But what I'm saying is that,
yes.
I would be very interested in making a trip to Landmo sooner rather than later. But it looks like Zelda will be getting his bow and boots right now. So for you, he can do NMG Landmo.
Assuming he has heard me, and has acknowledged this, I'm kind of a little bit more doubtful. Now, hopefully, especially if those of you might be maybe more frequenters of Zelda's stream, he, given the location in this case of the boots, of the bow, in this case of Ether, and this map of Eastern Palace, he may not necessarily be the most happy. Like we did see that he didn't really come here that much later than Telethar, but it is kind of one of those. That I could have come here, at minute 2 or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And then gotten this boots. So hopefully he doesn't feel too bad. I can't really imagine that he would feel that bad, but it certainly could be maybe something that could be weighing on his mind. Telethar, oh my gosh. That was a very, very impressive dodge on his side from the crowd.
That is the second time that our runners have dropped down to see what was on Lake Hylia Island. That is the second time I missed it.
I believe it was a heart piece.
Oh, okay, thank you. I can mark it off.
Although Zelda is not really looking that healthy. He's only got four maximum hearts. Telethar, though, on the other hand, he has found Pod with 1 key that we found from the drop-down from Magic Bat, or whatever, Lost Woods, and he has the bow.
So, do you take advantage of this 1 key, the bow, and the hammer, go right, and go to the back? Or do you just open the front door?
Oh.
As someone who plays this game a lot, Clear Mouse, what is your recommendation?
Well, Kix, as someone who has watched a lot of Crosskeys in the last however many years I've been doing commentary, I would be more than happy to defer to you, who has actually gone quite far in many entrance tournaments. What would you do, Kix? What did telethar do, by the way? Are we open the front door? Okay.
Yeah. Just open the front door.
Okay.
Always open the front door. I am a staunch...
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my only other opposition to that would be like, maybe you already have like the big key in hand, but even then, just open the front door. It makes your life so much easier. I'm staunchly against like key stealing, and this kind of falls into that category a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's actually very reasonable. I mean, and also, I guess for what it's worth, there's really kind of nothing stopping, another pot small, just, in pot, right?
Yeah. Telethar getting his first arrows of the game.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So talk about convenient enemy prize packs, right? So we got mini Moldarms dropping, in the magic pot pack, and then we suddenly got mimics also dropping some arrows. So it's almost as if the game is just saying, like, please kill the enemy, so then they can just give you a refill automatically.
Yep. So that'll do it here for Pod. I was definitely a little surprised Telethar took the time to go all the way over to Light Shopping Mall, given that we do have a quick connector next to a save and quit that we can check.
Also, I guess no glove. I don't know how much in this case like you're kind of incentivized to go over to a location, especially like Dark World Shopping Mall, Light World Shopping Mall, without basically being able to full clear that area. Oh my gosh, Zelda. So this is, I believe, his one attempt into hovering. Made it quite far, but unfortunately not quite all the way there.
I was gonna say, I had no idea Zelda even attempted hovering. And I'm his
teammate. Yeah, this is the 2023 Zelda. We've upped our hover attempts from 0 to 1 per seed.
That's fair. Telethar, remembering that there is a small key here at library, gonna pick it up.
Yeah, that's right. Zelda also scouted this as well.
There's a Thieves Town small key with the hammer. That is very nice.
That's actually a very, very nice small key to have. These little things. I was gonna say these small things. By the way, not small things. We have found GT already. We have also apparently picked up 2 small GTs somewhere. So we should be able to get a good amount, right? With boots, with hammer. No hook shot, but I mean, Zelda, I'm sure, was more than capable of bomb jumping over at least the Stalfos room, bonking the rest away.
Yeah, I expect we're going to be doing a full left play right here. Meanwhile, Telethar doing what...
Bow Popos is the way to go. I'm just telling you right now. We don't need no stinking hammer for this.
All right. Today I learned Clear Mouse is a big fan of bow.
Oh, really? You just learned today? Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
But we're gonna get the Landmo play here, and I am curious to see what is behind this Landmo play, because we were given everything we needed to put this logic pretty early.
Yeah. I mean, talk about literally everything in logic. We even have the small key and the big key, right? Kind of also curious to see if this is going to be a crystal or a pendant. I mean, just because we have everything so early, maybe it's a pendant. But we can also just be very hopeful that it is a crystal. Very nice fire rod fight on Telethar's side. Oh, you know what? All this. By the way, everything that Zelda's doing right now is in logic. Just FYI.
Well, everything up until
yes, at least Stalfos room. Yes. This one is technically not in logic, but at least we can get to Stalfos room.
But that hook shot on Telethar's side, that's a really good small key for that Hyrule Castle small key, because now we don't have to worry about Aga 1 at all, aside from a really, really, really niche scenario that we're probably not going to do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, alright, so we did pick up, looks like, a map somewhere to Meyer, which is great, but Telethar remembering that the hook shot, of course, in addition to the boots, also let you into Meyer itself. We don't actually have quite a sword yet, but looks like Telethar is making more, putting this bow that we picked up in Hype Cave to pretty good use.
He'd probably like that cane that Zelda just picked up.
Oh man, yeah. How about that?
Although he doesn't have the big key to descend, so it really doesn't matter.
No big key, and also I guess I mean Meyer is also a pendant. I don't know how deep people kind of want to go here, but the cane does kind of at least like help things out a bit.
Yeah, and like that cane will also give Zelda the ability to pretty much full clear the rest of the basement in general.
True, yeah, that's true. We actually do have right side GT available now, like actually like fully available to us. Telethar, meanwhile, yeah, he picked up a cape. So always kind of nice to have some visibility. We have not scouted Bumper, I think, yet.
Nope.
So potentially going to be useful. Yeah. Also a potential other, of course, entry into the vanilla Aga Tower entrance. Since we're kind of swordless. It's not actual swordless, but we are still kind of missing an actually good permanent weapon.
Notable on Telethar's side, he did not do cutscene chest, which I know is something Telethar does not like to do. Period. And to be fair, that's not something a lot of runners like to do.
Now, do you think actually he just won't flat out do it this trip, or he was just kind of like putting it off? Okay,
we're not doing it.
I see. Okay, very fair. Alright, meanwhile, though, Zelda, ooh, we are potentially missing, and maybe not quite the textbook Ice Armos quick kill, but Zelda's got a couple more arrows to his name. So, as long as he doesn't die here, we should be fine.
we're fine.
We're
never worried at all. So Telethar's going to take this hook shot and go straight to Hookshot Cave, and he'll basically pop out on the mountain just like Zelda did, although he's going to have more to do, because with that hook shot he can obviously get over to East Mountain as well.
No, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we certainly actually in this case have quite a bit of density open up, to both Telethar and Zelda.
So for Zelda's sake, you almost kind of hope that like the GT Big isn't like right here in Hookshot Cave.
Oh yeah, that's true, because Zelda's gonna full clear out the entirety of the basement, and suddenly that GT big chest is not looking like a great location now for Zelda. I mean, it does kind of happen a lot often in Crosskeys. It just happens to be that more often than not, you don't really get the opportunity to full clear the entirety of the basement the first time you find it without the GT big key.
It's true, but there's no big key in the Hookshot Cave, so Zelda's going to be fine. Because I suspect Telethar is also probably going to full clear the basement once he gets here. So for both runners, this GT big chest is going to be something that will weigh on the back of their mind a little bit. But I suspect they both probably believe that the other runner won't have the big key the first time they're here.
Yeah, we are actually into fighting quite a few number of maps as well, so I think as soon we're going to be able to get, hopefully, complete knowledge of our crystals and pendants. Zelda did end up picking half magic from Tile Room. Really, actually quite nice to be able to see. We are still, oh wow, Zelda almost got grabbed.
Be careful.
Yes, but with that fire rod, and really without, much other weaponry, to our name, that fire rod's going to come in quite handy.
Nicely done.
This is also kind of like another, I don't necessarily know if it's more of, common, I guess, in Crosskeys, or more of a feature, but it's also just to be able to see runners kind of be more creative, right, with their weaponry or loadout. Crosskeys seems to be one of those modes where it's like you probably have fought every single enemy and boss with every single random combination of weapons.
Yeah, and so you learn very quickly how to deal with enemies depending on what your equipment is. So yeah, I'd agree Crosskeys runners can generally handle whatever is thrown at them.
Yeah, like these bones that Telethar has to be. Yeah, literally having to deal with these things. All right, well that's actually pretty good. Honestly, pretty good loadout for Zelda. Telethar also, of course, in GT Basement, so he's gonna get something very similar. And of course, because even though he's coming in here extra with the hookshot, we obviously saw that the lack of hookshot in this case did not stop Zelda from getting everything that he wanted.
Right. So Zelda rescuing the old man. We have not. Oh no, we have seen where both the entrance and exit to that is, which is, I guess, once we pick up. Well, no, because Zelda's already done the pod area, so it's for Zelda. This is a useless save and quit point, I think.
Yeah, he just doesn't quite know about it yet. So. As Zelda is slowly becoming more and more healthy, we are a bit more, I guess, a little bit more under pressure to find that mirror. Of course, we've already found Boots, which is, absolutely phenomenal, especially under the 2-hour mark in Crosskeys. Maybe, our mirror will be right here. Death warping with a lot of health and a lot of armor, especially I think for high level Crosskeys runners, you really don't want to give up, so much time death warping, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking at our loadout, and I'm looking like, oop, there's a big key to Thieves Town.
Oh, to Thieves Town. We have not found Thieves Town yet, but, coupled with that small key that telethar had picked up, I think from library, right? Off of in Kakariko? Yeah. Should be actually with a hammer, should be actually very nice clear.
It's funny, we talk about like how routing is very unique in Crosskeys because you have all of the connectors and getting from point A to point B might not be just as linear as go to the Dark World portal and go from there. We haven't had a whole lot of Dark World access with our connectors as of right now. Like we have the one Paradox connector that takes us to there's a map check. We have Pendant Mire, Pendant Swamp. And I saw crystals at everywhere else minus Pod, which I don't think there was a map for.
I'm glad that you were actually watching this. These map checks are way too fast for me. But this is but I think this is part of your experience, right, Wallkicks, of playing entrance and these things for quite some time.
So it's just a matter of like, as a commentator, it's trying to figure out when exactly does a runner do a map check. Because like if I'm a runner, like if I'm actually playing the seed, I know in my head, hey, I'm about to do a map check. Let me train my eyes to look in a specific way. Eastern Palace was a pendant. So that is all of our pendant information.
Suddenly, you know how I said like Zelga's incentive to dip Eastern Palace was already starting at rock bottom.
It's even lower now.
If it's possible, I don't think it can get any higher, honestly. I think there are, and every once in a while, Zelga's like, oh man, I don't really have any more options. Like he was saying this on stream, kind of like, narrating to himself, right, about playing Crosskeys. Like, I have this terrible option, or Eastern Palace. And it's like, maybe, and he literally never goes into Eastern Palace. It doesn't matter how terrible the other options are. Those are always come first.
Eastern is gross. No one likes Eastern Palace.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Telethar actually trying to do almost pretty much succeeded for the torch bonk. Actually really cool to be able to see. If you time it correctly, you can actually bonk over the spike. So can actually, not only do you not lose damage, you also get past like the spike just a little bit faster.
Zelda in Crosskeys with the rare sees the bomb shop guy, immediately walks out because he already knows what the 5-6 crystals are.
Yeah, this is actually something that was somewhat a bit more remarkable. You don't actually even get, that much crystal pendant knowledge. I mean, more often than not, you find Sahasrara, okay, this is the green pendant, you go find the bomb shop guy, okay, this is the 5-6 crystal, but we ended up getting our maps pretty much to everything, I don't know, very, very early, right? I think that's maybe one of the reasons why Zelda ended up doing a map check, was because we just had so much information.
This is definitely a very high map seed early on, because like we're 30 minutes in and we have full knowledge. So that's impressive.
Look at our one of our awesome trackers, Iker, literally counting.
Dang, it's really good.
So good. Oh my gosh! Even with the breakdown for statistics, right? Look at that: 5 Dark World, 2 Light World, and the castle. See, this is why this is why we need trackers.
Trackers are amazing. All right, so where does Zelda go now?
Yeah, so, we are, as you mentioned, we're about 35 minutes into the seed. I mean, it's actually, we have quite a lot of stuff, honestly, for Crosskeys, even especially, so Zelda doesn't have Desert Palace cleared yet. We do know from Telethar's side that it's a crystal, but we actually have, like, the ability to, in this case, take out, two dungeons. I mean, we haven't found Thieves Town yet, but I mean, like, basically completely clear out 2, crystal dungeons, pretty early in Crosskeys. On the other hand, it's like, we have so much, and yet, we're still swordless. There are 4 swords in the pool. It almost is a little bit of a shame that we also have all 3 medallions, and we can't use any of them.
I know. Another dungeon that we can clear if we ever find it, which maybe our runners don't want to find, is Swamp Palace, because we have bow, or not, well, I mean, yes, we have a bow. We have flippers, we have the hammer, and on Telethar side at least, we have a hookshot too.
True. Yeah, and the hookshot, of course, was on Landmos. Eventually, I'm sure Zelda will, go over there. He knows where Desert is. He has all the keys, and so I'm sure he'll make his way there, sooner rather than later. We are getting some money.
I think this is just he's about to do Zora, which would leave him with 4 rupees. So this is probably just a hey, let me load up a little bit more rupees.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe we just wanted to hear the really happy music. It's actually, for what it's worth, it's actually among actually one of my more favorite cases, just because there's a software developer in there. I don't know.
I was just saying. I mean, the case itself is interesting, and where that music comes from is from a restaurant called Très Bien.
Mm-hmm. It's so good though. It's just so happy.
Is it? I'm pretty sure everyone who has ever tried the food at Très Bien
that's true.
All
the
commented
food is
that it's horrible.
That you know what, you are also absolutely correct. I wouldn't pay money to eat there, but I would pay money to sit there and listen to the music.
Would you pay money to look at the wage? No, I'm just kidding.
All right. What is the stream rated again?
Anyways, telethar not finding a whole lot in East Death Mountain, but does find Super Money Cable, do this connector, get these 2 chests, and see where we go.
Yeah, it looks like actually Zelda did get a little bit of a refund for his money, so he's not super broke. Does probably have enough money if he wants to go to Dig Game or Chess Game when he does find it. But certainly money, I think he's still probably okay for money. But no one's really gonna complain about that 20 rupees that he picked up. Oh, look at Super Money kind of paying off though. Yeah, quite nice.
Yeah, that hookshot is really helping out telethar in this scenario, because Zelga at this point is walking all the way over to, or running, all the way over to Paradox Cave, which means he's going to take this connector over to Dark Shopping Mall to inevitably go into the water, which is in Logic, and hookshot over to west at Death Mountain, which telethar is going to be able to just, he has regular Dark World access right now.
Excellent observation. It is one of those things where, man, he's just oh yeah, we can actually enter the Dark World normally, and not through 5 different connectors. I forgot about that.
So yeah, so this early play into that Landmo play for telethar, really helping him out. This is going to give him a little bit of a lead, and depending on how long it takes Zelda to go actually do Landmo, it could be quite a significant lead, because that hookshot also led to the glove, which is a vital item, I would say, in Crosskeys.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, right, in Crosskeys, you're kind of always, they're kind of the big 4 or 5 items, right? Glove, hammer, pearl. I mean, normal, your normal traditional Dark World access stuff, like the boots, like a sword. And these are the mirror, right? And these are definitely among the extremely high value items. You certainly need 1 glove to beat the game. 2 is somewhat debatable, but I mean, that first one is certainly very, very important.
Yeah,
not to mention, go for it.
Oh no, I'm sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I was also going to just kind of also with the hookshot, telethar is also able, because we're still swordless, we're kind of able to actually use it quite defensively, right? We actually see Zelda trying to get out of Dark Shopping Mall with all the Dark World Octorok, right, and the shooter guy, right? The hookshot basically takes care of all those guys, and Zelda unfortunately was a bit more defenseless, versus telethar, right? He could just hook and then go.
Yeah. Clear Mouse, we're 40 minutes into the seed. Is it too early to start talking about Go Mode?
Go Mode? In Crosskeys, I feel like it's always too early to be talking about Go Mode. However, though, given what, given we have such early crystal or prize knowledge, we've gotten actually so much stuff, right? I don't actually think it's too early in this particular case.
Because, we're looking, telethar has a glove. Telethar can full clear Ice Palace once he finds Ice Palace. Swamp is a pendant, so boo.
Yeah, we really don't want to go over there if we don't have
But
to.
we can clear out Thieves Town. Once we get a sword, we can clear out Skull Woods. We've already cleared out Desert. Hera, we can sequence break around. We would just need a Turtle Rock big key and a Pod big key and another sword. Well, 2 swords. And we'd have eyes on the Ice Rod. We just need the mirror for it.
Yeah. So suddenly, we actually just need maybe kind of like 1 or 2 more like major items, and then a couple of big keys, which granted can be a little bit elusive. The pod big key certainly has, for example, quite the reputation. Certainly among clouds that also run Crosskeys. That could maybe lead to certain persons 30-minute searchings. However, though, like granted, just like the sheer number of items or whatever keys that we're looking for, it's certainly very like a lot of things are now on the short list.
Yeah, Zelda's got to be a little bit careful here. Although that blue bell will be both helpful in this scenario and also not the most fun thing to pick up.
Yeah, especially as you mentioned, right? We're still missing one of our big ticket items, which is the mirror. Oh man, I mean, can you beat a Crosskeys key with the mirror? I assume you can. There's probably some layout where that's possible. However, you are definitely going to ask for that mirror. Hopefully on the sooner side, so Zelda doesn't have to, in this case, take a bit more of an expensive death warp out of Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, so for his sake, you hope the mirror is almost like right here. Ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Here we go.
Here.
Big key to Eastern?
Nope.
No.
not a big key you want to see.
Oh, well, we have our first bottle.
Second
bottle.
Telethar picked up a bottle.
Oh, right. Sorry, yes, it was a first bottle for Zelda. That is correct.
Yes.
No sign of sick kid.
No sign of lazy kid.
Oh, right, you're right.
I'm just kidding.
This isn't ladder. Lazy kid has no power here.
I don't know why, but I was very much reminded of Lord of the Rings. Just you did a very good like Lord of the Rings moment right there. Zelda does see that one of our Hyrule Castle connectors does lead to Floating Island, choosing not to go in there.
I guess for now.
He wants to see where the other side leads. Well, doesn't matter anyway.
Nope. looks like all roads lead to Death Mountain. I mean, it's not always true in it's seemingly always true in Sandy Entrance, but looks like it's also true in this particular instance of Crosskeys.
Yes. So if you're Zelda, what's next on the list? I have to imagine, in Zelda's eyes, he might actually just be down logically to Landmo. Although these boots do give him access to the Mire area as well.
These boots give him access to the Mire area. Do we have a... Sorry. Was there a connector over there?
Not Mire area, to Mire. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. That's also true. Right, we did see Telethar go over there earlier. And of course, with the knowledge that Zelda has that it is a pendant, he also does have the big key now that he picked up from the back of Escape. So, he can actually get one more item out of there, right?
It's true.
So would you, so with the big key, with Smaria, like, would you be tempted at all to just try and full clear the dungeon, like beat it? It's a pendant?
Not with the item layout I have currently.
Okay. So I guess it would be like worth it kind of to just clear out the entirety of the front and then, come back maybe later. Okay. For of course, one item on Vitreous, and I guess we don't have any pen knowledge right now, but it is quite, as you probably alluded to, the time investment in order to go beat Vitreous. Yeah, alright, so this is gonna be Zelda going after. I can't believe he's not doing Popo, and seems very attached to this hammer, which is fine, which is all fine. He's getting back here eventually.
Sounds like you need to have a discussion with him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give him a little bit more practice with the bow, so so he doesn't feel as intimidated when he wants to use it here on Landmos, right?
Mm-hmm.
He even picked up the arrows. Surely he will use the bow, right?
Surely this is about to be a bow Landmo fight and not a fire rod half magic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I 100% believe.
If I were Zelda, I'd be pulling out the Cane of Burna right now.
we won't have any reminders, by the way. The last time I think that Zelda did landmos on his stream. So he did not have like the bow or anything like that, but he did have Birda, but somehow forgot that he had it. So he ended up doing like bomb and like sword.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, so I think this time, at least it was practice. This is why we practice, right? On ladder. We're here using the fire rod, half magic. He got his hook shot. Hopefully, again, he doesn't feel as bad because, as I think, as previously mentioned, there was pretty easy, early access to this particular location, and we just kind of saw that in this case, Telethar got his hook shot pretty significantly before Zelda.
Yeah, I suspect Zelga's not going to be feeling too great about the fact that he just now picked up that hook shot. Although he will have a little bit more of an extra out coming up if he chooses to go into Mire, which I think he is. Yeah,
that's also true, right? In this case, right, Telethar, on the other hand, taking the early hook shot, going into Mire, so key-wise, logically, the right side of Mire is locked by 3 keys. Telethar chose not to, of course, do the cutscene chest, but also, as we are watching Telethar's screen pick up the big key to Mire right now, he unfortunately could not have accessed this chest, which, now Zelda coming here after the back escape, right, he can actually basically check this out.
Although his routing is going to be a little less efficient than Telethar's, because Telethar had picked up a Mire small key somewhere. I'm not sure where Telethar has been that Zelda hasn't, that he picked up that Mire small key. But there was definitely a Mire small key on Telethar's side.
Okay, yeah, it looks like Iker may be saying Pod, which I believe is a correct location that Zelda has definitely not been into.
I thought for a second he was about to accidentally open that key door and lock himself out of the rest of the checks here in this dungeon. That would
be kind of sad. Well, I guess he didn't participate in this year's spoiler log, pilot spoiler team, but his fellow league team member, Shady, was also, I believe, on a team called Don't Open the Door. We're not quite sure which door they meant in spoiler.
That's a really good team.
But yeah, it certainly applies to a lot more situations than I realized.
and yes, Iker, our tracker, is right. There is another key. You can take, you get the small key, or you open that door accidentally. You can go all the way over to the well-known Fishbone Room.
Mm-hmm. I want to see something Fishbone
and pick up that small key.
Maybe one day we'll be able to get some content in Fishbone Room. I mean, right now, currently, I think the content that's available for Fishbone is doors, right? Door random, or you do key drop.
Key
yeah, and I guess it's not gonna happen maybe anytime soon. I think for our more conventional quote unquote modes, but one can dream about fish and bones.
Does one want to dream?
I don't know, man.
It
can be a nightmare. I'm saying, it's just something we haven't seen.
Fair enough.
And pottery lottery, yeah,
yep.
That's really very true.
So cutscene chest, which Telethar did not do, not gonna hurt him, just 50 rupees.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Zelda certainly has done Zora. I don't think Telethar has made his way over there, but yeah, I don't really think money's going to be too big of an issue. We are still, good reminder on Zelda's side that we are still swordless, picking up our 3rd medallion, which, so certainly medallions have a significantly, I would say, less importance or weight in Crosskeys, just because, Turtle Rock and Mire are not necessarily blocked by medallions. I mean, they do block entrances, but again, it's only one entrance out of however many we have in the pool, right? So still could be required, just not as probably as hard required as we've seen in non-entrance modes. Meanwhile, though, Telethar, with a lot of invincibility and half magic, is certainly able to make his way over to Spike Cave with that glove that he found via hookshot. Well, whatever, after hookshot. Just 3 bombs, though, so no real danger, I think, for Zelda. So right now, yeah, Zelda has a hookshot. He's gonna finish up Mire, and kind of the only kind of major thing that Zelda is lacking that Telethar has is going to be that glove. So he just has to make his way over to Super Bunny.
This is turned into a very awkward route on Zelda's part because he didn't do. So I guess he is going to clear Mire. I'm a little surprised.
Yeah. Well, is it full clear, or is he just getting the bridge chest?
I feel like if he was just getting the bridge chest, he wouldn't have taken the path that he did. Yeah, he's going to clear Mire.
Wow. All right.
This is. I mean,
this is I don't know. I mean, maybe Zelda feels like, you know, we have all the tools. You know, he was given all the tools to clear out a dungeon. He may feel not great about the hookshot location. He may not feel great about the boost location. Maybe he just feels like something that this is, you know, something that could give him an edge. You know, for all he knows, by the way, like Telethar also, you know, had the full loadout when he came into Mire and also decided to finish it.
It's true, but like this is gonna be a swordless Vidi fight. I mean, we have 30 arrows, so like, you know, we can very easily do, you know, like we can take out all the small eyes and then do most of the damage to the big guy and then switch over to the hammer. So like, it's not that significant.
And Zelga's bottle is empty, correct? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
That was
Yeah,
a very
so I guess
nice
we don't.
Dark spooky, by the way.
Yeah, no, Zelda, I mean, so he won the 2022 SGL Live Spoiler Log Tournament. Very, very talented low percent runner. One of, I mean, not necessarily the few people, but his Dark Spooky is very, very good, as we've kind of witnessed.
As well as that dash. That was a very good dash.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, right, Crosskeys runners, they are pretty much be able to handle everything that you throw at them. Also remembering that we have a couple bombs to our name as well. Yeah, definitely gonna soften these guys up a bit.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm noticing he's focusing his bombs on one side of the eyes. Basically, if you were to like scoot, you know, if you were to spread him out to where he's doing like 3 on the left, 3 on the right, he might not do enough damage to where it would still take 3 arrows per eye.
Oh my gosh, the math! that is some very good calculation.
I have no idea what the math is when it comes to the damage table for bombs and the small eyes, but I feel like, you know, 6 bombs to an eye is better than 3 bombs to an eye in terms of damage. And yeah.
Look at, yeah, no, this is, I mean, peak resource management at its finest, right? Zelda, I mean, okay, fine, he has 1 extra arrow that he didn't necessarily need, but holy cow, like, very, very well done, in order to basically take down Vitreous without a sword.
So he got just a small key to Ice Palace for his troubles, as Telethar, of all things, finds Ice Palace. Yeah, so right, and Telethar is coming in here without a small key, which is not, you know, like the best of situations. You know, you really would like 1 small, you know, coming into Ice Palace, right? Is he? No. Where is this?
Yeah, but I guess in terms of, oh, okay, we found powder. It's kind of nice. We did find magic bat, correct? Or did we not find? I can't remember.
We had to have found magic bat somewhere because we definitely didn't find the well. So.
Oh, true. Oh, at Sanctuary. Thank you. Our other awesome trackers here, UX, keeping track of everything, reminding. See, this is why we have trackers. I remember nothing, so we have 2 trackers to remember.
Our trackers are amazing. Shout outs to our trackers for sure. Zelga's going to be taking now this hookshot, which I think is kind of generally all he has left, is just to kind of follow the hookshot.
Right, yeah.
But he's following it in the correct way that will lead to him getting his glove, which is really good.
Yeah. Also, speaking of, so like, yeah, the fact that Zelda just actually picked up his mushroom also did remind me. So we have not found the potion shop, correct? But I mean, would you consider that? I don't know, to be maybe of a higher priority to go turn it in. And so then when we do find the potion shop, we can go get the prize.
I would love to say the answer to that is yes. But I'm also very much someone who is guilty of finding the mushroom, never turning it in, and then like 45 minutes later finding the potion shop and cursing.
Oh. I see.
So to answer your question, yes. But I am guilty of definitely not doing that.
All right. Okay. Well, hopefully in this case, then, I mean, Telethar also didn't do it either. So again, even though both runners may feel bad, 45 minutes later when they go find the potion shop and they haven't done it, if the other person hasn't done it either, in the grand scheme of things, it is okay.
Yeah.
They may not realize it that it's okay, but it is still okay. Yeah. Telethar, by the way, we're all the way over here in Iced Tea, taking the small keyless route, which is certainly very scenic.
I mean, it's what you have to do in this scenario.
No, for sure. I mean, if it's what is the saying, right? When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever is left, is the truth. Yeah, if you only have one way, you don't have any other options.
Alright, so this will be the glove for Zelda, which is good. I don't recall where this connector led out.
That's also true. I also don't remember because I just remember the glove and be like,
yeah,
oh yeah.
I remember the glove. I was like, yeah, this is the glove.
Yeah. But I mean, like, all things considered, even though, you know, Zelda is getting, you know, he got the hook shot a little bit later than Telethar, he got the, you know, in this case, he got the glove a little bit later than Telethar. It's not like the things that Telethar have kind of like done over Zelda, you know, have really, I guess, like paid out so much, right? You know, the hook shot obviously led to a glove, but I mean, in terms of other, like, finding more major progression, you know, items, it's not like Telethar has a sword over Zelda at the moment.
You say that, and here's a sword, da-da-da-da,
Here's
no.
Oh, well, you know,
I was
maybe,
so sure.
maybe there's a Takenny cave somewhere,
or
is Shop Sanity. We can go buy a sword for 5 rupees. I don't know.
we have merged Retrance and Crosskeys.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, though, like, Telethar is making very excellent progress, right? I mean, you know, Telethar has already, you know, 2 crystal dungeons to his name. He does have, of course, the option of going back to Meyer, but he is trying to get the rest of his pendant, crystal, prize knowledge.
He did, so he just did a map check in the light world, so he now knows that Eastern is the green pendant, so he knows 2 of the 3 pendants right now. I suspect once he gets into Dark World, he will make a quick map check, because looking at his personal tracker, he has maps marked for 3 Dark World dungeons.
Speaking of the mushroom, look at Zelda not cursing himself for 45 minutes. He was probably cursing, you know, in the first 56 minutes because of maybe some of his items that came a little bit later than he was. But he is definitely not going to be cursing about this mushroom later.
So he's going to take this over to the Light World shopping. Oh, nope, this is not where that leads. Just kidding. Nobody heard me say anything.
Nothing. We heard nothing. This is going to be, I think we can get some new checks on Telethar's side. I do not believe that either person has gone over to Skullwoods.
Zelda really hasn't had access to West Dark World until he picked up that
yeah, that's also
shot.
True. Mm-hmm.
Hams to police.
All right, let's see this case. I didn't even catch like what the layout was in Skullwoods, if we can even tell at this point, but we are at least.
We can't tell you at this point.
Oh, okay.
I'm still storming at Hamsta's comment. Alright, so it looks like it's the bad layout.
Alright, so yeah, okay. So well, we're gonna spend just a little bit more time here in Skullwoods, or we're just gonna leave completely in Skullwoods. Looks like Telethar does not want to cut his route here. Oh, this is gonna be our scout to Bumper Ledge. Of course, no mirror really means that we still can't do much. If it were a mirror, we would actually have some pretty good implications, or maybe some, you know, some clues about, you know, or some direction as to if we want to go chase down more connectors. That'd be kind of nice. But it's just 3 bombs, so we're gonna keep moving along. Yeah, so you know, it seemed like the first, I don't know, umpteen minutes of the scene actually gave us quite a lot of access. We are somewhat, you know, not, you know, we're still making good progress, but in terms of actual items obtained, seems a bit more lacking at this point.
To answer your question, chat, Eastern Palace is in South Kakariko. I don't remember.
The chess game, was it? Right, yeah, like the one next to the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Light World gamble game, I think, or something like that. Which, for the record, both Telethar and Zelda emulated the emote that Zelda has, like, to a T. So and given that both in this case runners know that Eastern's a pendant, well, I can certainly predict, at least for half of the runners here, what Zelda would do. I don't know how much Telethar metagames, but honestly, like, if there is something in Eastern Palace, and you know Telethar decides not going there also until pretty dang late, I'm pretty sure he's pretty confident that Zelda's also not going to have it for quite some time.
Telethar does find one of our Spectacle Rock Cave. Does see that it's a small key. We have seen where that drops down to because it leads out to Turtle Rock.
Oh, right,
Bridge.
right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Telethar I think found it pretty early, or whatever, earlier.
Earlier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
both owners have seen it now at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think Telethar went all this way over during their first ship. No, because he went over to the pod area. So
Right,
these are going to
yeah.
be new checks for Zelda.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of this stuff. We haven't seen Dig Game yet. We have, I guess we can't get up there to Village of Outcasts, but it's fine.
Definitely believe the seed is slowing down a little bit, which, to be fair, makes sense. We had so much thrown at us early. Like, I've got an item cave tracker going on, and I'm down. Hey, look, it's a potion shop.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Do you think Telethar was cursing?
No, I don't think he's cursing, but it's just it's funny.
What a coincidence that we're here. Oh wow! Look at this. We got money on top of money.
We did get a 1 dig game. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
what I was
it was
saying
300 too. Yeah, go for it.
I was saying what I was saying earlier is that in terms of our item caves, we've already seen a lot of item caves. Like I have 1, 2, 3. I've got 6 left for us to find in terms of entrances, like non-dungeon entrances that have items.
Yeah, that's actually a good point too. Right, especially I mean, was it in Kakariko or it was something pretty early in like the first umpteen minutes of the seed where we found Mini Moldorm Cave, we found Hype Cave, we found Blind's Hideout, right? All of these extreme like Paradox. Yeah, we found we found all of these like super high density caves. I guess we haven't found Saha yet. Is that correct?
Yep, that is the last of our multi-item caves that we don't have access to. Something that Telethar picked up, by the way, was the Turtle Rock Big Key in Tower of Hera.
Ooh, all right. So this is going to be hopefully something that Zelga's going to be able to get to. I mean, Zelda is currently left unexplored. Zelda will eventually get here. We are still swordless, by the way, at the 1 hour mark for both of these runners.
Gross.
It's okay. Our tempered sword at home. The hammer is just as good as a proxy to take down Moldorm.
This is definitely why we were happy to get the hammer early on.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, as Zelda is just hammering down these pegs and ice palaces, Tempered Sword definitely can't do that, right? It's giving us our access here.
And for Zelda, this is where having that one small key will be a little bit more beneficial because he'll be able to run this much more efficiently than Telethar did.
Right, yeah. Yeah, one small key for, that was Take Heart. I don't think we necessarily could have, if Telethar got it and he didn't get a refill, that's great, but we did pick up our Sanctuary Hearts.
It was mentioned in chat that he had
okay. Oh, great. See, this is how much I remember or pay attention.
But this does give Telethar some interesting decisions because with the Canis Mario, with the big key, we can pretty much go all the way to Laser Bridge if we so choose.
It looks like Telethar. And Telethar knows it's gonna be a 5/6 crystal too. So, so I know we found Zelda on his side to find Big Bomb. I don't remember if Telethar has seen that or not, but it is something maybe on the table if that's what Telethar wants to do. If we can eventually get Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Telethar has definitely seen the Big Bomb.
Okay.
And we can turn it in fairly easily. Well, I say fairly easily.
Everything's relative. Yes.
Yes. I mean, it would require us to go on a little bit of a vacation traveling, but
that's okay. It's like nice Turtle Rock small key, by the way, and chops. Yeah. I was gonna say, this is like Zelda. Okay, nobody saw anything. It was definitely first try. Zelda definitely went up the first time. Talk about locking yourself in potentially. Not maybe quite the best situation. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's spring break, right? It's time for travel. We don't really necessarily mind. Use some of our frequent flyer miles.
You have frequent flyer miles?
Well, they've been just kind of sitting around, for 3 years because I hadn't gone anywhere,
Reasonable. So Telethar choosing not to go towards Laser Bridge, a little bit interesting, but these are also checks that he hasn't done that are probably on his mind.
Yes. The top file, one of our other, not tracking tonight, but one of our, probably also one of our, the best tracks we have for Crosskeys has done a ton. Rightfully minding at least me that we do need that mirror in order to get the ice rod. Or connected.
Did Telethar take 2 digs in a 1 dig game?
It's probably muscle memory, you know.
I'm just gonna point the notch. It's fine. I'm here to cause problems, as evidenced by the sirens that were going on behind Clear Mouse. They're coming after me, Clear Mouse. Wee woo.
Listen, it's just that, you know, these guys are going too fast, okay? You know, we just gotta make sure that everyone is abiding by all the rules and the speed limits that the arbitrary police have, you know, set upon us. Telethar, by the way, is gonna turn in a mushroom.
We're just...
He's like, oh yeah, I did see the potion shop.
Alright, so that's the mushroom. Are both orders about to converge by turning in the magic bat? Yes, they are.
Oh, amazing. Look at this. We got one from the left, one from the right. I really do appreciate the symmetry here.
Nope. Oh, just Telethar, you went too far.
Well, looks like though Zelda, with the remembering that and taking no detours to Magic Bat is going to beat Telethar too. Is this going to be a sword?
Nope.
Close. It's a key sword. This is not Kingdom Hearts. I'm sorry. I'm trying here. Oh, well,
So what's next on our list of things to do?
yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, what else do we have access to? You know, like, you know, just in terms of still being able to open up, like, new interests, we still haven't found a lot of locations, right? Like, we haven't found, you know, Thieves Town, we haven't found, I think, the Back to Skull Woods, even.
Correct.
Yeah, and so, like, I think we're gonna probably need a couple more things to kind of try and open up, you know, some more access, right? This could be myths, right? And, you know, maybe this could be a flute, you know, where's our mirror, you know, for example, right? Like, a lot of things, right? We kind of need something. Looks like we're gonna actually get a pedestal check from Zelda. Alright, so out of the 8 maps that we've seen so far, I'm pretty sure we're not gonna need that one.
I don't know. I think it's pretty important.
Hmm. Oh man, Zelda just ended up getting robbed too.
Wow, you go to a forest where, of all things, there's a master sword and there's a thief nearby. What even is this?
So speaking of lack of master swords, you know, Telethar having to pick up the bushes one by one so he can go to the potion shop.
There's a big key.
The key too?
Oh, well.
Oh my god.
It's fine. Hera's literally right where Zelda's
True.
So we're just gonna
It's
check that real quick.
not the end of the world. That's right.
Yeah.
You know, we had Boots. You know, we had Harapot. Zelda, unfortunately, just sequencing it ever so slightly differently. I mean, like, he is gonna experience the exact same thing that Telethar does, right? He's gonna go clear Hera. He's gonna beat Moldorm, and then he's gonna go and get to the potion shop and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go right back.
Did Telethar skip out on the chest below the big chest? Because, like, I see 2 out of 6, which implies he's opened the chest that had the big key. Yeah, he did.
You are correct. What happened? Did he? Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, you know, in the end, it's just his pod key, so it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it didn't ultimately hurt. It's not like we went back to pod, but still, yes, it is very peculiar. Oh, right, we did find Useless Fairy, so we are actually gonna get the boss music here. Instead of the continuation of the... Oh my gosh, what were the drums called? I forgot what. The taiko drums, is that right? From the track? Yeah. It's always a banger being in Hera. Hey, look! We can use the cape to get into the center location of Aga Tower because we are still swordless after...
Wait, how did Telethar get here? I didn't pay attention.
He caught
to your
through...
left.
Yeah, it was the right side connector, so yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, that's fine.
We're probably going straight back over. So yes, it was TRI laser location.
What? That bug was fixed?
Ah,
I
okay.
am sad.
Oh, alright. Well, thanks for letting us know, Ricky. I didn't actually realize that was actually fixed. All right, Zelda actually getting a little bit more distracted before we're gonna go find that Hera big key. I mean, you know, not again, you know, it's just 20 rubies in that chest. Not gonna be the end of the world, but again, it's gonna be one of those. Why didn't I come here 5 minutes ago? That's kind of like a motto of Crosskeys. It seems like. Why didn't I come here 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, and Zelda's actually done decently and kind of catching up a little bit to
Oh
Telethar.
yeah, for sure. I mean,
like,
you know,
we're
like
in this area now together.
yeah, and you know, I'm sorry, Telethar I think still has just like sheer number of checks still over, you know, Zelda. But you know, in terms of actual like stealth, you know, Zelda is closing the gap. I would say pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, both learners have 3 crystals. Both of them have pretty much the same layout of items at this point. So it's just gonna kind of be who picks up that mirror first, and who knows.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
it could be at
Yeah,
this
exactly.
Point.
Yeah, I mean, even like some of the things that, you know, maybe Zelda might not feel so great about. Like, for example, like he went all the way to the end of Vitreous, right? Claimed his first pendant. Oh my gosh, we finally have a sword at
Not
the
a logic
1
can't
hour.
use it.
Yeah, you're right. The Telethar, if you swing, the siren's gonna come back. So please don't do that.
Yep. Can't dash anymore because it uses the sword.
All right, where does Laser Bridge spit us out at? Do we know this? Oh, we are in the Maya area. Amazing. All right, well, we still don't know if we have a connector over to Desert, but yeah, the mirror now is automatically will give us access now to the Ice Rod, and of course, then you know one more, and then also Trinex.
Yeah, I don't think we have a connector at this point that can lead us to the Mire area. I think.
The Desert area, you mean, or
no,
or in
to
the Mire area? Okay,
like
okay.
Aside, well, I mean, obviously this connector literally just took us to the Mire area. But what I'm saying is, I think I don't know how many connectors we have left, but I know we definitely haven't seen a connector to the top of Bumper Cave.
True. Yeah, that's also very true.
And so that's definitely a required connector. Oh, this is going to be a long death warp for Telethar.
Oh, right. He is in the Dark Maze. Yeah. Well, we also got a map check on Zelda's side. Just want to really make sure that this is in fact not door rando, so none of the actual, you know, like tiles are randomized as well.
Can confirm we have we are in Turtle Rock.
Okay, cool. Maybe well, I guess we didn't pick up the compass because we don't really know.
Oh dear.
Zelda. Holy frick. Okay, yeah, we have Burna. Please, oh my god, please don't walk off the edge.
Oh.
Burna cannot protect you from your... Oh, okay. Alright, the death warp was... Well, oh, because he wants to finish up Village of Outcasts. Which is fine.
It's interesting. Like... Yeah,
he's definitely gonna get his Desert Palace, or not his Desert Palace, Harabiki at least, and get his Red Rupee, I guess.
True. None of the other checks in the Mire area were of any value to us, though. So.
Yeah, but it's certainly very good knowledge, at least on Telethar side. I think soon to be on Zelga's side eventually, but yeah, once we get the mirror, I think Telethar definitely knows he can go get his Ice Rod at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mitts, mirror, something. I think that would give us a couple more interest. Yep, and then here's Zelda, so going straight back up to Hera. Mini Moldorm really playing hardball here with Zelda.
Looks like Telethar is heading over back to Pod. He has 5 keys, so there's a lot here that he can do. Yeah, looking at the tracker now. Unfortunately, no big key. That is not precluding the possibility of the big key, of course, just being in Pod. Oh, we are right now.
Yeah, we are really death warping. Happy both on Zelda and Telethar's side.
Really nice.
Okay, this extra health surely will be beneficial to Zelda. I mean, honestly, you know, both Zelda and Telethar, they are very calculated, very analytical. I think like a lot of scenarios kind of go through their head into what they think the best decision is going to be. So if you see them doing something, it's probably because they've already thought through it and they think that this is the best decision they can make it for their situation, regardless of how long the death warp takes. Sadly. Now, Wallkick's like, if you're here in Pod and you have to make a decision between Vanilla Bicky Chest and Harmless Hellway, like, do you have a preference, I guess? Is it just kind of like what you feel like that day? Is there an objectively right answer?
I mean, most runners would do Harmless Hellway, just because you're already going to the back. So I feel like most runners would do Harmless Hellway.
Okay.
I think it kind of largely depends on your mood at the time. Like I'd be lying if I said I've never done Vanilla Big Key Chest just because I felt like doing Vanilla Big Key Chest. But I feel like most runners tend to pick Harmless Hellway, and then some people meta that and be like, I'm now going to do Vanilla Big Key Chest because I know a lot of people do Harmless Hellway. It's why some people go into Eastern Palace early if they're running against myself or Zelda, because they're like, I know these runners don't do that, so I am going to go in. And then they usually get nothing, and then they look. No, I'm just kidding.
So I believe you use the word usually. See, this actually opens up the possibility. It's one of those, like legal loopholes, right? Where it actually, does happen. Just saying. Other, Eastern Palace emotes exist for a reason.
I'm pretty sure there's an Eastern Palace emote where, like, obviously the one is of Zelda where he just gets in and walks out. I think Korok has one where he goes and immediately goes in. I believe Shady has one where he walks in and is like doing the shuffle of like, oh, do I continue? Do I not continue?
Yeah, it's the Shady indecisive Eastern Palace decision. I think when at some point, we had some like Eastern Palace battles, right? Shady was trying to play mediator. He's like, no, you don't have to pick. All right, okay. So telethar actually is trying to do the backup pod. Did not find. I mean, we did find more items, just not good items. 3 bombs.
We really haven't found anything.
Yeah.
That's a full heal, which means we are saving and quitting after this.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, I don't know if you really wanted to see that full heart refill, but we're here.
There's a sword.
Yeah. So certainly required. We have the swords seem quite elusive this game. So, certainly, not a bad find. Definitely. And especially given that, we do know where another bow is. So if this is like the only other sword that's really kind of like readily available to both Zelda and Telethar, I'm going to assume that they're going to go, assuming we get the mirror at some point, we will go get silvers. So, the Ganon fight won't be terrible. But, still, another sword would be probably pretty preferable.
Yep. Telethar is going to take this connector over here. I'm a little curious to know what connector he might be looking for, because he already has access to the mire area. So I'm not really sure what he is hoping for here. That is the wrong...
the Light World bumper game. It's like we're playing inverted. No, we're not playing inverted. We're just gonna scratch that entire idea out of our head.
Inverted doesn't exist.
It really doesn't. I don't know how much worse like inverted Crosskeys is compared to regular Crosskeys, but man. Oh my gosh, though. Yeah. Well. Yeah. So this will definitely get Zelda. Oh man, actually I was gonna say, this gets him to the mire area, but no, it doesn't get him to the mire area because we have no mitts. And we can try to think like what. So does the flute actually open up anything? I mean, it does give Zelda, good amount of like overworld travel. He seems to be using at least these connectors pretty well, honestly. But like, I'm just trying to think of what kind of benefit I guess the flute really does have at this point.
The biggest benefit I see at this point, hello Sahashala, is it gives us access to get over to Paradox Cave a little bit quicker, to get over to Dark Shopping Mall. Oh, there's a mirror. Oh,
alright. This is a... We have finally, after, I don't know, however many minutes, like a lot of minutes, have finally basically found the next piece of our puzzle. Okay, so alright, so right now, Zelda still does not have a way over to Desert in order to go get his Ice Rod. We saw that Telethar ended up following the connector over to the Mire area, which was out of Turtle Rock Laser Bridge, which Zelda chose, to not follow.
I mean, the Ice Rod's on top of Spec Rock. Zelda's gonna go get it right now.
Speck Rock. What was on Desert Ledge?
No one has seen it.
Really?
Yeah, we
Oh.
haven't ran. We have not run all the way over there.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
I
fun.
for some
It's
reason
fun.
thought we were all going over to Desert Ledge because I swear, like I remember Ice Rod there. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no. It's
My bad.
Telethar.
But
I
still,
think at this point
yes.
is about to do it. I think Telethar's actually on the path to get the mirror now. Like, I don't see there being much else in this area for him to do other than to drop down. So, both runners are going to be very quick into this area, and Zelga's going to go over here first.
I guess for Pod, is that?
Well, he hasn't been in this area at all, so.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Okay.
So this will be all of Pod for him, which is good for Telethar because he'll be giving all of this time back.
Mm-hmm.
Because for Telethar, he's going to pick up, he's going to get his mirror and flute, and he's basically just going to go straight probably to pick up his Ice Rod, and then probably go finish Turtle Rock, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and kind of unfortunately for Zelda, I mean, whatever. Like the Pod Big Key is still at large, right? It is, as far as we know, not in Pod, and so Zelda, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Zelda is happy or sad to kind of I guess find that news out. We will have to eventually come back, but I guess at least with the flute, it's definitely not too difficult to come back here. Alright, Telethar is, he's got the flute, and then now he's going to basically, he's en route to go get his mirror. We did also find, for what it's worth, the small key to Hera, which does open up Hera Basement. Probably not the top priority at the moment for the runners.
I say that feels pretty low priority.
Yeah.
This mirror is going to open up at minimum like 1 or 2 dungeons that we can clear out.
Mm-hmm. Plus, I think Pyramid Fairy as well, right? Because we can get a 5/6 out of this. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, Telethar at this point is really only finding dungeons and the Pod Big for
Silvers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Silvers, excellent reminder as well. Yeah.
Yep. Where's Telethar off to?
What was in the pod area? What was on the pyramid? Was there anything on pyramid?
Nothing about you because we've already been up here. Oh, he's going down to check the one. Oh, we're not going.
Never mind. Where are we checking?
We are checking this dark cave, which. Oh, he's taking this back to the mire area. Because we found the other dark cave is in the mire area.
Mm-hmm.
So he's taking this mirror over to that area, which will give him 4 additional entrances.
Ooh, Zelda unfortunately didn't quite throw the bomb in time. But okay, well, I mean, it exploded. That's the important part. So good on Telethar to kind of remember this and basically to come back here. Again, this is kind of like a hallmark, right, of a very talented and high level Crosskeys runner.
Find desert.
Alright, yeah, this is Desert Front. We had not seen basically any of the desert connectors, have we?
No.
We only found the desert back very early, and that is that's kind of it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know how often these kind of things happen in Crosskeys, but more often than not, you certainly at least see, usually some side of desert, some side of Hyrule Castle, some side of Turtle Rock, and those are kind of your your connectors that are into Light World or Dark World, right? But in this case, desert came super late.
Which probably offers some implication that maybe one or both of the other entrances are entrances that generally aren't accessible otherwise. It's like one of them might pop us out in Ganon's Tower. One of them might be on Light World Death Mountain. There's a lamp finally.
Yeah.
That we haven't had access to since. For however long it was.
Imagine having a lamp.
Lamps.
I mean, Zelda has obviously proven himself he does not need a lamp whatsoever to do anything. Being able to do Dark Spooky, in Mire. Alright, but Zelda's almost done with this place. He just needs to go claim his Master Sword out of this chest right here, and then we are good with that mirror.
To answer chat, it is dependent on where the other 2 desert entrances are. If one of them is not locked by the mitts or flute, then it is not.
All right, looks like though, yeah, we do find in this at least the Desert Palace area, we found the back of Skull Woods, which let's see, according to our trackers, it is a regular crystal, so definitely very much required. Also very appreciative of the mirror that we don't have to death warp out of the bridge chest with blue mail and 13 hearts.
Yep. Zelga is taking the mirror over to pick up the side sword right now, and he's probably gonna finish up some of the entrances here in East Death Mountain.
Yeah. Also, as looks like, yeah, as Siri was pointing out, one of our trackers, he does in fact just picked up the Master Sword, and we did find a book in GT, I think. So,
Yes.
and pretty early, yeah. So we're be able to get off this tablet, which, you know, okay, at least we have the mirror.
We have the mirror. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Meanwhile, though, Telethar is putting that hammer to good use. That is one flattened moth.
Yep, and that is
But that is crystal 4? 4? Sounds good. I very much have absolute faith in your counter.
You know, I'm glad one of us does.
It is 100% better than mine. Zelda has found Hotel Mario. Alright, nothing.
It definitely hasn't.
Okay, then never mind. But doesn't seem to be holding much value. We are still looking for what? Thieves Town at this point?
Thieves Town, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not that one.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Where is like? Okay, so do we need like Telethar? You know, always skip Swamp Palace type of emote or something?
No, I just think it's the right idea to like. I
would also completely skip out on Swamp Palace at this point. Is a pendant. I mean, you are really. I mean, like once we find Thieves Town, right? We have what 8 items that we can get out of that thing.
Yeah, he's gonna go in now.
Fine. Not the easiest for what it's worth to get back to this area as well. You know, just because we had to take a Dark Connector over here. If we had Nits, it would be a lot nicer. But other than that,
Curious to see what we find here. Like, because for all we know, this is Mitz locked.
Was something out of logic that we have that enables us to get over here?
Well, if you look at the logic, the lamp was in desert. Our 2 desert access points so far was Checkerboard Cave and a Vanilla Desert left entrance. So for now, that means you have to go through the mire, or you have to find a way to mire to get to.
Oh, right. Yeah.
To
You're
get to
right.
the desert entrance, and because that lamp locks one of our access points.
It was a dark room access connector.
It actually locks both of our access points.
Yeah, that's actually very, very excellent. I forgot it was a dark connector that got us all the way over here.
Yeah, so we are currently logically locked by mid. So like, again, that depends on where Desert Ride is. If Desert Ride is accessible, then you can ignore everything I just said.
Mm-hmm. All right, so where is Zelda going in this particular case?
Probably over to K45B. Ooh, there's a pod bay key. We are out of here.
Yeah, Telethar is leaving. That is another clearable crystal dungeon. For Telethar, we are.
Telethar at this point just needs to find Thieves Town, and he is in go.
That potentially could be a very tricky ask. Like, so we're gonna be able, with the pod big that Telethar has gotten out of Swamp Palace, which is really great for him. He's gonna be able to clear a pod, which is gonna be another crystal. Locations, I think he may still be needing to, maybe search for items if he needs more access to location.
I think
like,
he's
do we need
banking
mids?
on. No, I don't think we're gonna need mids this season.
Okay.
I think he's banking on being able to find Thieves Town because he has a number of entrances. I wouldn't be surprised if it's right here, honestly.
Oh my gosh, you definitely called it. All right. So that means
the big thing that tells me is that it's mitts to get your access to the lamp and thus the mire area, and that is go mode for Telethar. and he knows it.
So at this point, he needs to clear out Thieves Town. He needs to go get his Ice Rod off of Spec Rock, and then go beat Turtle Rock. And then go beat Pod, correct?
Yeah, I mean, but he's gonna mirror and do Pod right after this because it's you know, in Light World.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So yeah, this is gonna be a very, very fast seed for Telethar.
Yeah, we're actually at the just shy of under 130. Telethar definitely, yeah. So I guess like presumably I guess maybe depending on what he finds here in Thieves Town, you know, he go to check. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was thinking if he finds like another sword, like would you go pick up Silvers? Is my question. You know, or you know, you could basically just go to Ganon, facing down Master Sword Silverless.
I mean,
Oh,
good
nice
miss.
Nice miss. Oh.
Okay, look, our lamp isn't logic.
Mm-hmm.
He might go pick up. Well, honestly, with those mitts, he will probably go pick up Silvers. Because I was gonna say, like, he doesn't have the easiest access to Turtle Rock without, like, the mitts. But, yeah, that gives us.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Zelga's gonna go back in to the Dark World, probably head over to where the silver arrows are, but it's gonna be too little too late.
Yeah, because at this point, Zelda. Well, actually, what is? He needs to go back to the desert area, right, and then go into Pendant Swamp and get his pod big.
Well, he's never been to the Mire area, period.
Oh, true. You're right.
Like,
we can't go back to a location that we haven't been over to yet. Yes.
Yeah,
he didn't. He didn't follow.
He died at Laser Bridge to continue checking that, so he doesn't know that area leads to Laser Bridge. Of course, he also doesn't know that the Dark Cave in the pod area also leads to the Mire area, which would be where he needs to go. But yeah, I would sort of agree with Tofel and argue that this largely came down to Zelda not chasing, to not leaving Laser Bridge and knowing that there is an access point to the Mire area.
Yeah, and I guess kind of going back to Laser Bridge all the way through Turtle Rock isn't really that convenient. So.
No. Although with Telethar's, you know, with what Telethar has, he's going to be able to basically flute right over to the Mire area because now he has mitts, and open up Mire, which is where TR Laser Bridge was.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't want to bring up Inverted again, but you know, like having the mitts and the flute though, like especially in Crosskeys, like it just like the combination of the two together actually gives you a lot more value, right? Like without the mitts, it's kind of more difficult in order to actually access some of the Dark World, you know, points. Just, you know, like for example, if you want to go into the Dark World via Ice Palace, right? For example, like it's just not easy. You just can't do it without mitts. Mire area also kind of the same situation. All right, so is this going to be Zelga's? Never mind. We're going to go take on the 3 Light World entrances, I guess, in Pyramid or in Castle Tower?
Yep, because he never popped over from TR right to TR left, so these are all entrances for him. And he's still looking for Thieves Town.
Right.
You know, he also hasn't seen Swamp Palace, so like there's still a number of entrances for him to check to find what he's looking for.
Yeah, so in terms of, I guess, potential freebies on the way left for Telethar, like he has Helma.
I mean,
the
checks that he has left are Helma Sarking and
Trinex.
So those are the only checks left in the game for him.
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe he'll be, you know, quite fortunate, you know, that he'll be able to pick up a Tempered Sword along the way. We're really bouncing off the bombs here off the mask.
I appreciated his attempt to use the torch to light his mask on fire.
Right, still though, timed well in that he did despawn the fireballs. So, and of course, I think he got spin speed. I mean, he was definitely using the hammer pretty nicely. So, All right, looks like though this is going to be Zelga's foray back into Turtle Rock for Laser Bridge. So this is going to be his connector over to the Maya area, presumably.
Well, no, he's gonna.
Oh no, never mind.
finish
He has the ice rock.
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
mind.
he's
What am I
gonna
talking-
take care of Trinex.
Yes. Where does Turtle Rock? Oh yeah, no, we definitely seen Turtle Rock Main.
Yeah,
at the
Turtle Rock Main
beginning,
is
so,
Bomb Shop or the
yeah.
Darklink's house.
Mm-hmm.
Telethar, where are we going?
I don't know.
He hasn't
Well,
activated his flute, has he? He's not.
Excellent observation. Correct.
And he hasn't gotten his ice rod either.
Oh, did we not beat Trinex? We are okay. So we
Oh,
have activated
we did walk
and gone through. Yes, Laser Bridge. We're going to go straight back over. At least he knows where this is.
Well,
Or he's maybe
gonna
gonna
do these
take-
He's gonna do these
Okay.
entrances first, I think.
Okay.
Which I mean
I-
will be good because it will get him his go mode pod big, but it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, at least he's gonna save a little bit of time over Telethar. He has the mirror, where Telethar did not, so we don't have to spend our entirety of the time basically death warping. I think Telethar death warped out with like 13 hearts or something. It was quite a lot.
And this appears to answer your question of will Telethar get silvers? The answer is yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean he is staring down. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, do you think getting silvers here are worth it?
Probably.
He is. I mean, this is still quite a, like, you know, it's still a trek to kind of get over here to race game. It's not
It
necessarily
is.
the cheapest, but you know, we are staring down a Masters or Silverless fight, so
Right.
also a pretty long fight.
And then he will just flute right over to the Mire area. Oh wait, he still needs his ice rod.
Ice rod,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Ice
Yep.
rod.
No. We're definitely getting there one step at a time. But yeah, but Telethar is definitely making, you know, extremely good progress. Like he knows exactly what he needs to do. He is he's gonna face down a hammer Trinex fight, which is, you know, fine. If he gets, you know, a temper sword off of Trinex, that's great. Maybe he won't feel as great for picking up the silvers, but he's just gonna beeline it over straight over to Ganon.
Yep. Which we know is at Useless Fairy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Meanwhile, that is the lamp for Zelda. So no more dark rooms when he, I guess, goes through Laser Bridge eventually again. Or no, I guess he'll come back from the bottom from the Desert Palace connector. It was a
Zelda's
swamp?
gonna go into swamp, yeah, because this is swamp.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at that.
Temporarily?
No.
Well, I
because
mean,
he's-
like,
he's
where
gonna- he's
does
gonna
he?
go.
Oh, he wants to go back. Did we check checkerboard on?
We have not. He's gonna go do that right now.
Okay. Oh, right. I forgot about this entrance too. Yeah, it's just a shop.
Like, Zelda's intent when he was going into Turtle Rock was to eventually kill Trinex, and then finding this entrance gave him access to a whole bunch of other entrances.
And
You know, basically putting a pendant dungeon, a long pendant dungeon within those checks of entrance, like suddenly became suddenly the oh, I'm just gonna do Trinex real quick turns into, oh god, I'm doing a whole bunch of other things. So
yeah,
I'm not surprised he didn't immediately say yes to Swamp Palace. I don't know if he'll say yes to it right now.
Telethar is having
He is.
one heck of a Trinex fight. I
He's
haven't
fine.
Yeah, you know, this is, I mean, why not use half magic if, you know, you have it? Certainly a bit more, not quite the I guess, hammer Trinex fight that maybe we are, I guess, like maybe used to, but there was definitely a lot of fire and ice rod shots.
I mean, you know, when you're quick swapping, like after you kill the fire head or whichever head you kill first, I don't even remember which head you kill first. You know, you got to sit through that animation of it dying without being able to quick swap. So if you have the Master Sword, you usually just spam
Yeah,
the
yeah,
rod
for
and use
sure.
the Master Sword.
Mhm.
7 crystals for Telethar, by the way.
Yeah, that's it. We are a 1 flute / dash over to the useless fairy drop down. And then Telethar, well, it's not necessarily like the breeziest of fights. It is going to be pretty, Telethar has done this a lot of times.
Yes.
Face down a Master Sword Silver's fight for Ganon.
Alright, so it is 12 hits for phase 1, 12 hits for phase 2.
Yeah. With half magic, I guess I don't know. Yeah, it looks like actually Telethar's already breaking out the King of Samaria, just trying to stable himself a little bit more. For those of you maybe who have tried to, do spins around Ganon, the recoil is quite large, just like what Telethar demonstrated right there, right? And so the King of Samaria really does kind of help stabilize basically, diverse some of the knockback. Telethar actually, he makes actually the King of Samaria look pretty easy. Definitely takes some practice in order to do this well.
Zelda, by the way, did pick up the Turtle Rock Big Key and is in Go mode. Or Pod Big Key, excuse me.
Pod Big Key. Great.
Yes.
That is exactly what we want to see out of Swamp. Yeah. With half matching in this case, Telethar is certainly not shy about using the cape. So long as he survives, because he's definitely past, in this case, like the more difficult phases. So he just needs to get through phase 3 and then stun Ganon 4 times. Hopefully, only 4, or it can be fewer, and then get 4 silver arrows in him. Good thing Telethar has the green potion.
I think he has a blue as well.
Oh, when did we end up getting that blue potion? I guess it's been quite the seed. So
he might not. I'm not 100%, but I feel like he has. But,
all right. Did Telethar just get a silverless spin in there?
I mean, that wasn't intentional, but get GG's in chat as right as Zelda defeats Trinex, Telethar defeats Ganon, a slightly more important boss to kill, and will win this game, thus eliminating Zelda from competing in this round again.
Yeah. Big GG's to Telethar. Played the seed incredibly well. Zelda, Zelda is a complete, Zelda is probably one of the best Crosskeys players, like in this entire community. And it just happens to be in this particular case that some of the decisions, he just got to some of the items a little bit slower, a little bit different sequencing, and can actually be quite the time difference. But he still played the seed very well.
Yeah, and I mean, he's in Go mode, and I'm pretty sure he is largely aware of it. He just needs to find things he would have.
Yeah, but I assume in this case, let's see, we have... I assume in this case, we did have a forfeit from Zelda, and we are also joined by both runners here tonight. Hello, Zelda. Hello, Telethar. GG's, guys.
Yo, GG's.
GG's, Zelda. What a stressful race.
You guys, at least Telethar, you hit Go mode unexpectedly quickly. I don't know, were you kind of expecting that? When you went into Pendant Swamp and you found Pod Big, did it kind of dawn on you oh, this is it? I'm in Go mode?
When I went into Desert, I was like, am I actually just a Pod Big Key and entrances from Go mode? And then I got the lamp there, and I was like, okay, well, and I'm like, so this lamp is maybe midst locked, depending on where my connectors are for this. And then I saw Desert West on the left side, so I'm like, okay, so this is another midst lock. So I'm like, okay, so I don't, and then I was like, I found Swamp, and I'm like, I don't really want to be in here, but I guess I gotta dip it in case the Pod Big Key's here when Mitts can't be in here, and therefore I have every entrance and I'm in Go mode. I don't actually know where Desert Right was, but it's probably Bumper.
Probably Bumper, yeah.
I can't think of any other thing it could be. I'm pretty sure I saw every other connector.
That's fair. But yeah, GG's to both of you. You guys played a really good race. I think one of the early diverging points was Telethar. You kind of took the the fire rod, big key, and small key to desert hint a little bit earlier, and finished off desert and got your hook shot, which kind of led you to the glove earlier and kind of made it a little bit smoother for you. Zelga, you took a little bit longer to head over in that area, but you still both played a heck of a race, honestly.
Yeah, on my end, I realized the pieces very quickly for desert, but I was hoping to find at least one more thing that could get me some more stuff to do in that area besides entering Mire, and it just never came. So eventually I got there, but it was very late. I think probably like 40 minutes, maybe. I don't know.
That sounds about right.
Okay, yeah. I was kind of done with whatever garbage this game was throwing at us. There just felt like there was nothing, like no area that you could just be like, yeah, I'm comfortable in here and not leaving things behind. I'm like, all right, I'm going into desert. I'm done. Desert and Mire is good enough for me.
Yeah, I think maybe also another point was maybe also like view Zelda having the Mire big from the back of Escape maybe further incentivize you to finish up Mire like as a dungeon. Versus I think telethar, like when you came in here pretty early, right? Finishing up desert, getting the hook shot, and you went into Mire. I mean, you didn't have the Mire big, so you didn't actually like. Also, no cane, right? So that means you actually just couldn't finish Pendant Mire, for example.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have, and it would have been a pretty miserable fight.
Yeah, it was.
I was say is you pulled out that fight really well, Zelga. Like I was very impressed.
The execution was very strong. Actually, I think Wallkicks also kind of like made this observation during your fight was like, were you intentionally kind of throwing some of the bombs only on like the left side eyes, just so like most of them can like stop up like a lot of the damage to kind of finish them off like with the bow.
Yeah, I didn't want to just spread the damage out. I wanted to make sure I'd have enough arrows left over for the big eye. So I wanted to make sure I could kill a chunk of them in 2 arrows, maybe even 1.
Your resource management was very, very impressive, right? I think you started with 30 arrows and like 5 bombs or something like that. You ended up with 1 arrow. I mean, like, and everything was dead like after that, right? So very, very impressive.
Yeah, I felt bad doing that. Like I knew as I was going, I was like, there is no reason to do this. I have 0 small keys. It's such a pain to get there. I don't have a lamp. I knew the whole time it was a big waste of time. And it doesn't sound like 2-3 minutes was the decider here, but it's still one of those things that as soon as it was nothing, I knew that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I think the other big thing that kind of swung it in Telethar's favor is Telethar, you went out of TR Bridge the first time.
Yeah.
So you knew about the Mire area, and you knew about the Dark Connector Pod leading also back to the Mire area. So when you got the mirror, that was kind of like your first area to go check out. You went straight back to the Mire area and got those entrances.
Yeah, I was just my route was gonna be I was gonna go do all those entrances there and then do what I did, but go through Paradox and end up in the pot or end up in Dark Shopping Mall and then swim over to Hyrule Castle and take that up to the mountain and start just knocking off entrances because I knew I needed Thieves Town.
Yeah,
like it was the place I wanted to be because it was a place I could actually do.
And shout outs to the Mitts being in Thieves Town.
Yeah, and then the Mitts show up. I'm like, I'm gonna open a couple of these convenient chests. Maybe I'll get a sword. And then Mitts show up. I'm like, well, that's just more convenient than I was planning.
I'm glad to hear it because when I was doing the whole desert and swamp thing, I was like, oh my god, there's a glove in Eastern.
Okay, all right, okay. I have to ask you, Telethar, did going into the Eastern ever cross your mind, especially given that you were playing Zelda today?
Yeah, so there's 2 parts to that. One is I was planning on going into Eastern after Desert and Mire. If after beating Desert and dipping Mire, if none of that was any value, I would have dipped Eastern. But the other thing is like, I'm always scared of dipping Eastern against Zelda because like Zelga's an incredible player and I don't have the time to give up. And if it's the wrong thing, it's like, okay, well that's just a disaster. I feel behind for the rest of the seed, no matter what happens. So if Eastern dip is not useful, then you just feel terrible. So it's always scary. So I want to like balance it. I do want to do it because again, Zelka's an amazing runner, and I'm like, I don't want to dodge it forever and then put myself on equal footing. But I also don't want to never do it. Or I also don't want to just dive in there and be like, well, if it's here, I can beat Zelda, and otherwise I lose. Like, I don't like that mindset either.
Especially, I guess, in this particular situation, Eastern was pretty reasonable to get back to, right? It's just kind of south of Kakariko, and it was also within like the first, 10 minutes of the seed, right? So,
yeah,
pretty good position to take.
I was considering doing it, and then I see the bow sitting there. I'm like, well, nope, never mind.
Yeah.
Definitely commented that was like, if there is any reason to give Zelda less incentive to go into Eastern, it's having that bow visible.
It's 10 feet away from it.
And then you end up finding another bow in Hype Cave like 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
Oh, I did not. I felt really bad when I got the boots. Like, I had already done a decent chunk of Dark World before I found those. So that was another one that I was like, it's not game breaking, but man, it sucks.
Yeah.
I guess for what it's worth, like so telethar, like you definitely went to the boots first, boots and bow first. Zelda, you went to Paradox and you got your pearl first, and so like I don't know, like it kind of balanced things out, and just because like so telethar didn't really have the pearls, you couldn't really do too much in Dark World to begin with. So I don't really think like having the boots like when you got them really hurt you as much as maybe you might have thought so in your head at the time. For what it's worth.
I think the big thing is that I just got really lucky in my end game. Like I got the mirror and I basically just spoiler logged it at the end.
You kind of correctly picked the group of entrances, because like it could have just as easily been on the East Mountain area.
Yeah, 100% up there. Yeah. So
shout outs to your mushroom turn in and the hair big. That was
all right. Yeah. Guess I'm going back. All right. It was.
What did going back also give you like so the first time you were in Hera Telethar, you didn't do the chest below the big chest. Is that something that you normally do in that scenario, and like if you don't have the big key? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna skip that if it's not in logic, and I will eventually get that big key. Unless I'm like Ice Rod from Go or something stupid like that.
Gotcha. Okay. Was curious about that. But yeah, GG's. I think I'm out of questions. Clearmouse, do you have any final things?
No, I don't have any more. I think final thoughts. So this seed was like many Crosskeys seeds, it ends very abruptly. But this one also was a very fast seed. So you guys I think played both very, very well. Definitely big GG's to you, Telethar. I think this was a very great win, I think, for your team. And so this also does mean that I think Zelda, you are eliminated, I think, from participating in the remainder of the series.
Yep, that sounds right. But I mean, that means that in this entire series, I played nothing but entrance mode. So who really won? That's all.
Yes.
we were talking at the very beginning. Yeah. So Wallkick said that the entire series you played nothing but retrons. Is that right? And then suddenly here you are playing Crosskeys. I don't know.
It wouldn't have mattered. We didn't roll retrons in the first 4, so Zelda wouldn't have had a choice.
Just means I grab my entrances and sit here in my little corner and be happy, and that's all that matters.
But GG's again to both you. Telethar, congrats. You get to continue to race, assuming that your team doesn't sweep us, which you won't. But
right? Of course not.
I mean, from a commentator, from a spectator's perspective, I am so excited for the series match. I mean, like you guys, like so both teams, like all 8 people, like are amazing runners. I think the matchups are going to be are absolutely spectacular. Like it's actually really hard to pick a favorite, just because everyone is, everyone's so good, everyone's so upstanding. So, but this is going to be a series that I think I'm really, really looking forward to. So definitely best of luck to both teams.
Yeah, same. I think the only favorite that you get on this, aside from rooting for one of the teams because they're your favorite players, is whoever won this match is now the favorite by a lot, because it's just everyone is so scary. Having an extra person in the wings is
it's
massive.
Everyone on both teams really, really, really good runners. So thank you guys again for doing this race. It was a lot of fun to commentate for sure.
Yeah, big same. Thank you guys. Yeah, again, just echoing everything that Walkick said. Thank you so much, Zelda. Thank you so much, Telethar, for racing. It was an absolute pleasure to be able to commentate this one.
And we also want to shout out our trackers as well, Iker and SiriUX. Both of you guys doing
Yeah,
a tremendous job.
Two of the best trackers we have in the community.
Yep. Especially when it's like, oh yeah, we have this many maps already.
Yeah, how did they even keep track of all this? I mean, obviously they're trackers, but like, holy frick, dude! Like, yeah, they're eagle eyes. And thank you so much, Wallkicks. No, I'm really glad that we could find the time to do this.
Of course, Clearmouse, thank you. I think that'll do it for me.
Yeah, same.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take over here. Once again, thank you to our runners, thank you to our commentators. Everyone already said everything that needs to be said. That's gonna do it for ZSR tonight. Coming up on ZSR tomorrow, 10:20 a.m. Eastern, we have the Grand Finals Game 1 for the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 6 between Seisei and Ryukane. And then they have Game 2 at 10:20 a.m. Eastern on Monday as well, if needed. And then in terms of Link to the Past Randomizer, we have a couple matches on the schedule for Challenge Cup. First off, at 6:10 p.m. Eastern on Monday, we have W. Garrison versus Centipede. On Tuesday at 3:10 p.m. Eastern, we have Adirondack Rick versus Gritisham. And currently on Friday, we have 4:10 p.m. Eastern, So Last Summer versus Phoenix Down. We're going to try to add more things to the schedule, and of course, as things get scheduled for Survivors of Hyrule. But at the moment, that's what we've got so far this week. And with that, we're going to go ahead and sign off here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful time, and have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye!